Hello, welcome to another episode of New Gameplay. Today I'm your host, Jeff Cork, joined today by Joe Juba.
Hello.
Brian Shea.
Hey.
And Alex Stadnik.
Hello, friends.
How's it going? And I should say that this has some spoilers, but I mean, it's pre-release video footage, so it always has spoilers. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I don't know why you're watching this. But anyway, what are we looking at here, Brian Shea?
This is Persona 5 Royal, which
Persona
is
5.
kind of like a director's cut version of one of the best RPGs of this generation, Persona 5.
Yeah, they demonstrated a lot of restraint when it came to trimming the content from the original release, didn't they? So nobody's ever beaten this game, I heard. Is that true?
You were talking to two people who have beaten it.
I don't believe it.
How long did it take you guys to beat?
I think my clock was around 105.
Mine was 124.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was quite the adventure.
Interesting. You could have taught yourself to play guitar.
But I didn't.
Yeah,
I
but
played
what would
Persona 5.
What would I have to show for it? I wouldn't have a platinum trophy, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
Interesting.
As we start, as we looked there, it's the same kind of game. You know, it's just so the vanilla version. You know, great turn-based combat. A lot of different arcs for different characters. But the Persona 5 Royal adds some new elements. In addition to an all-new semester at the end of the game, you also have things that kind of get added on throughout the game, like this grappling hook right here.
How do they explain the addition of a new semester? Do they say, oh, no, we were wrong about the calendar, students?
I don't know because I didn't get to see that part.
Okay.
But they're talking about how there's an all-new semester and... yeah.
There it is.
Interesting.
So when you say you didn't see that part, I guess we should, when we talk about this as a director's cut, what that means is that it's essentially a re-release of Persona 5
Yes.
with new features just kind of folded in all along the way, rather than it being like an expansion saying, well, it's the same game, but there's a new whatever 20-hour semester at the end of it or something. You know, it's a lot more, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brian, but it's like the changes are a little more pervasive than that.
Yes. So, like, for example, one of the things that you're not going to see in this video, but we can talk about is there are new characters. Kasumi is the biggest character that gets added. It's an all-new party member, actually. Oh, here's another thing that's new. And
What is that?
so you'll see there's a grapple point that we just got the grappling hook, and now we can grapple over here.
Oh, man. Please tell me you're going to hit X for an action moment.
I think I hit L1.
This is weird. because
Saucy.
It's been like 3 years since I've played Persona 5.
Has it been 3 years?
It's been 3 years.
Wow.
When did that come out? April 2017, I think.
Yep.
But if you were to tell me that it had a grappling hook before, I would have been like, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Honestly, you could have told me anything about this game, and I'd be like, yeah, that sounds right.
Because you've not played it at all, right?
I am a stranger to the Persona world.
All right. Well, you can cut your own mic off.
Okay, I'll see you guys later.
So these are will seeds that we're seeing now.
What are those?
So these are collectibles that are in all the palaces, and when you get them,
What is this?
well, they'll explain
Just
for you.
what I thought. A will seed.
That's what
Perfect
I guessed
timing.
too.
Palaces are locations
Consequences.
that grew distorted from their original forms due to when such distortions coalesce into form. This is the result. I call it
All right.
Is this your gameplay?
It is my gameplay.
You let it almost finish talking, and then you skip ahead.
I don't want to hear the word coalesce. I
Very
don't
cool.
like it.
Here's the fun part about this. I had to guess because I had to unplug my headset so the audio would go to the capture card. So that's why some of these will be a little bit longer and some of them will be a little bit cut off.
I suppose I owe you an apology. So check your mail.
I sacrificed everything for this recording.
is it really
So this is, like Jeff said, we're going to get into some spoiler stuff. So this is the first palace.
Yeah, it's the first palace. This is Kamoshida's palace. Who, if you've played the game, you have probably a bit of a visceral reaction to that guy.
Yep.
He's pretty gross.
We'll be seeing him again
Shortly.
soon, so spoiler alert.
And
for
also
that.
mature content alert, possibly,
yes.
as well.
Lust seed.
Yeah,
Okay.
I felt weird editing this at my desk at work.
Yeah, you thought, and I'm getting paid for this.
So, as someone who's well versed in Persona, obviously, and for those who aren't, can you give me a little like background? Why is this the game for me to play?
Oh boy.
Oh, jeez.
Well, okay. Without going into the whole series and like the differences, whatever. I think Persona 5 is an interesting mixture of, I would say, classic turn-based approach, like tactical turn-based battles. But what sets it apart is this element of like social simulation.
Okay.
So a big part of the experience when you're not in dungeons fighting monsters and stuff is going to school and making friends and deciding how you're going to spend your time, which person you want, like which relationships you want to deepen. And then you get various, there are rewards and different like systems and loops that tie into the different people that you are, spending time with.
Gotcha. Okay. What's kind of the split gameplay wise? Is it like 50-50 relationships battling? Is it one over the other?
Probably 30% dungeon crawling and 70% just like day-to-day stuff.
Okay.
Does that seem about right?
Yeah, and I think the day-to-day stuff's actually the best part of the game.
Yeah. I think that's what sets it apart among other entries in the genre, I think.
And the style, I was noticing that, and the music is all top notch.
The music is amazing. It's one of my favorite soundtracks ever, and the visual style is so striking. And so we're jumping a little bit ahead here, and you can see just another application of the grappling hook. Once you start climbing,
but like this was in the game already.
It was. So I could go in. So I go in this window, and then doing a little exploration.
Oh.
Just a little.
We'll see.
Oh, gotta love vent crawling.
It's the best.
Top 10 vents.
There's a treasure chest.
I get the treasure
Really
chest.
excited about that chest.
So normally I think that is where the end of that sequence is, but now you can grapple up
Okay.
Okay. A little bit
and
extra
do a little
here.
bit more exploration. Obviously, this is the first palace. It's right after you unlock it.
Will seeds.
I found another will seed.
Oh, here's the boss.
All
Yep.
right.
So now we are jumping to the Kamoshida boss battle, which is just gross.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is another thing that's new in the game is some of the boss battles are going to be different. I think a lot of them are going to play out different, but this is the only one that I've seen. And you can see right here, like I get him to a kind of a pivotal moment. And we're going to do an all-out attack. And
He looks like a fun guy.
Come on, vamp. Vamp.
So, yeah, I just it's a lot.
I'm sending hot shot, but right now,
So when you say the boss battles are different, it's like the people that you are fighting, the bosses themselves are the same.
they do, but certain
They
things
have
will
different
play out
moves or
separately.
variations. Okay.
So you'll see after the all-out attack that is a long time coming right now.
Is that a blonde girl in his drink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Just curious.
It makes more sense like once you actually have the context of what he is.
Yeah, it
I
totally
see.
makes sense why there's a blonde girl in his drink.
Yeah, it's his cognition. All right. Also, the boss music is amazing in this game, along with many of the other tracks.
Yeah.
But so he goes for his kill shot, which you'll see here in a second, and instead of just taking you on one by one, two of the characters in the real world will actually come and fight by his side and give him more power. So, see, slaves bring over you know what, so those things leave, and I'm just going to skip through that, and
That's a great question.
and there he is.
Okay.
Mishima.
Okay.
So characters who are kind of under his influence in the real world, his like the cognitive versions will come and I mean you see this with other characters in the story already, but now other characters are also showing up during this battle, and you can do certain things to so you'll see that like there's another character that will pop up, and I'll attack that character to try to make it so he doesn't have as powerful of attack, because those things won't be assisting him anymore.
For sure.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I remember. That's new.
I looked into, because the game is out in Japan, so I looked into like, are there other variations? And I didn't, without spoiling myself on like what those variations are, there are other boss fights in the game are that way as well, where other things will happen that didn't happen before.
Okay.
So you can see, like, because he set Kamoshida up for that, he was able to do a more powerful hit.
Okay. And is this the case with every boss battle in Royal compared to the original?
I think most of them. I don't know if everyone. I mean, this is the only one that I actually saw. And so now we got the next character coming in.
Okay.
And this one is kind of morbid, seeing as how what happens in the game to this character, Shiho. Joe remembers what happened to this character in the game.
Yeah.
Again, without spoiling, it's pretty dark.
As we laugh. Ha 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 ha. Very dark.
Is this a game that deals with pretty heavy themes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure.
the very first palace has very heavy, like,
Yeah, you're right.
sexual assaults.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
kind of like
Suzui too.
pedophilia overtones.
Okay.
well, and isn't it?
Settle down there,
I mean,
Shea. Jeez.
I think the idea is the bosses are all sort of themed off of deadly sins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So lust, gluttony, greed, kinds of stuff. That. So this is the lust boss,
Yeah.
This is just 7 the game.
but it also touches on some of those things in ways that aren't just the way you always see, right?
Yes.
And I think it's an interesting. I think it takes an interesting approach to, like on one hand, it feels like you're playing. Hey, this is like an anime RPG.
And the cutscenes are beautifully animated. Like they're all like in the anime style.
And it sometimes it feels like it has maybe a like happy-go-lucky or kind of saccharine atmosphere to it, and then in the very next scene it can just go very dark. And I think it's one of the things to this game's credit, like one of its skills, is its ability to sort of transition between those things pretty well and get you invested and immersed in the story and the characters.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so, in addition to all those other things we've talked about, Kichijoji is a new area of Tokyo that you can explore. So
Okay.
we talked about how, like, you know, it's mostly most of the game, and probably the best parts of the game are spent with like your social links and like just kind of going around town, hanging out with your friends, developing your relationships with these characters. And this is a new place you can do that. So we can run around Kichijoji a little bit.
Okay.
And this is an area of Tokyo that's actually been featured in like the Shin Megami Tensei series as well. But this is the first time I believe it's been in the Persona series. It's definitely the first time it's appearing in Persona 5.
For sure.
So there's a bunch of shops that you can go into and buy stuff. I didn't buy anything, but I wanted to see what they had for sale.
3 things.
Smart.
3 things, yeah.
Good store. Good store.
And we're eventually going to get over to a like a bar where we're gonna do a little Ryuji
A little drinking.
interaction,
A little party.
Not a little drinking. You're a high school kid, so
Oh, I
that type
see.
of stuff is frowned upon.
Oh, I see.
And this is, Alex, it's hard to sell someone on this game based off of even just like, 20 minutes, half an hour of gameplay too,
Absolutely.
For sure.
because it's such a slow burn.
Okay.
And I think, again, that's something that works to the game's credit, I think, is by taking its time in its story and characters, it does a really good job of, I think, of, folding you or bringing you into the story and, folding all the different pieces together in ways that feel like deliberate and intricate and
Yeah.
satisfying.
For sure. So you're obviously Joe Juba, a decent Mass Effect fan.
Yes.
Would
yes.
you like compare the relationship building to that level on how you care about the characters? Is it similar? Is it not as strong?
Oh, that feels very apples and oranges. to
Okay.
me.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, like this is more like we're just gonna hang out instead of like, hey, let's go do missions together.
Yeah.
And like that's how I earn your loyalty. It's like, no, we're literally going to play darts and pool right now.
Okay.
And that's how we're gonna get closer to Ryuji.
Yeah, and you can get like a job to earn
Yeah,
money.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So you have like an income.
And like basically it's almost like a time management sim at a certain point, because it's like, all right, my afternoon is free. Do I want to work and go to the flower shop and work a part-time job and
Yeah.
earn a little bit of money and improve my charm attribute? or do I want to hang out with like Makoto and develop my relationship with her? So it gets kind of in that way where it's like you're on a timer.
Yeah.
Because you have like a morning, afternoon, and evening time that you can do it. But a lot of days your daytime is taken up by school.
Unless you are playing this game with a guide by your side that is designed to help you like optimize, you will not be able to max out every relationship.
I think for that reason, I found it to be a miserable experience because I never felt like I was maximizing my time. I felt like every step I was making a critical mistake that I would regret. And knowing that this game is 1,000 hours long, the likelihood that I would play it again just to see what I missed is 0.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I guess for me, that comes into, like when I played Persona 4 Golden, for instance, I did that just with the guide, like do this all the time.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's do this.
But there's something to be said, I think, for not doing that, like you said. But instead of it feeling like you're failing, there's kind of a burden lifted, right? Like there's like, hey, the game does not expect that you will max out all these relationships. So just pursue what you find interesting.
Yeah.
Do what you find interesting,
Hell yeah.
and that's enough of a payoff.
Okay. Is this, Jeff, does this interest you to go back to it at all? Like with the Royale coming out?
I think I would. I really would like more of a nudge, though, to know what I should and shouldn't be spending my time on. Because that's fine to think like, hey, I'm having a great time and I'm like pursuing the relationships that I feel are satisfying and everything. But then you find out, oh yeah, if you'd maxed out this character, they give you this amazing buff that makes this element of the game substantially easier.
No, and that's true. That's there.
So yeah, that would drive me insane.
Yeah.
I assume so. I assume that stuff is still in there. I guess I don't know if it's.
Well, you got a
changed
whole
for
other
Royal,
semester and one new character. So unless they somehow stretch out,
but a lot of that stuff. Again, I haven't. Even though it's out in Japan, I've sort of been deliberately avoiding the spoilery stuff for it. So I don't know how all this plays out, but I don't know the degree to which like the new semester is actually like, hey, these are whatever it would be. 60 more in-game days that you can play versus maybe it's like more focused on cinematics or something. Like
I mean,
I don't know.
Atlus told me that it is approximately 30 hours of new content. I don't know if that means the game is 30 hours longer and other things were streamlined or what, but it is approximately 30 hours of new stuff to see if you've played the game before.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you haven't played the game at all, then like this is, they're hoping at least, the best way to experience this game.
it would be close to 100% new content in that case.
Yes, it would be. So that's Kichijoji during the day.
Get ready.
Here we come back home.
Oh man, just seeing some of these places and characters again, it's like
I love the
I'm looking
song
forward
when
to
you
playing
walk
this
into the
again.
coffee shop. It's so good.
I remember reading that they were planning to streamline the beginning of the game a little bit, so Morgana isn't always telling you that you have to go to bed.
Yeah, they've pretty much cut that down a lot of here.
That would be great.
Yeah, every
big boy.
single night. Maybe you should go to sleep.
Yeah, well, so the game is split into different time frames, right? So like you can do something in the afternoon, you can do something in the evening, but it takes a long time in the base game before they really open up the evening for you as a time that you can use.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't make sense. It's like you're up in your room and you're like, look, just let me go out and do something. And then Morgana's like, shouldn't you go to bed? No.
Yeah. I don't wanna.
So that whole conversation just now was talking about something that's happening in Kichijoji that we could look into.
Wait, what's this place?
So this is the Thieves' Den.
This is all new, correct?
This is all new. This is a bonus area where you can actually go and you collect things based on like your accomplishments in the game. You also get to meet a new character here, Jose. So he is...
What's going on with his do?
4.
Well, he is a being that takes the
Oh, no.
kind of the form of a young boy.
Okay.
And I guess he's... I don't know too much about his backstory, but I guess he's trying to understand the nature of humans.
Okay.
Oh, no.
By putting an eggshell on his head?
Yeah, by putting an eggshell on his head.
Okay.
So you can unlock things through him,
This is an archetype you're really into, isn't it, Joe? I can tell. Alien trying to understand people in an RPG.
Yeah. I really identify with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is just kind of an area where you can unlock things and you can rearrange it how you want. So yeah, we can see all the different stuff that you can do.
So this isn't like a dungeon. There's no combat. It's just sort of
Not that I saw.
kind of like a very large trophy room.
Basically.
Okay.
And because I didn't have my headphones in, I thought maybe this was voice acted, so I was letting his mouth move for a little bit before I moved on. So that would explain the long pauses there. But now we can go and explore a little bit, see what this place has to offer.
Nice.
So there's a game called Tycoon, which I'll play a quick hand of.
Okay.
Good.
I'm gonna ask the question every noob to a series asks. Do I need to play the other ones to play Persona
No.
5?
No.
Okay.
I originally bought Persona 4 Golden for Vita because everybody's like, oh, this is just one of the best RPGs ever, and this is by far the best version. I bought it, and I just couldn't get into it after like 3 hours, so I put it down, never went back to it. And then I played this game and absolutely adored it because it gets into the action a lot faster in Persona 5 than it does 4. And then I was like, oh, well, now I know I like this game, and that like if I invest the time in the slow part early on,
Yeah.
then it'll be worth it with 4 Golden. So I went back and played 4 Golden.
Okay. So it's
A
similar to
couple
like,
years ago. Yeah.
it's similar to like a Final Fantasy or like a Dragon Quest where it's the characters are different.
Yeah, that's a good thing because they're also in the same way that like Dragon Quest has slimes and Final Fantasy has chocobos. There are elements in the Persona series like monsters and themes that come back, but it isn't a linked story.
Okay.
Each one is a standalone story.
Gotcha.
I'll try it.
Cool.
Pass.
Okay.
So
And if I were you, I would start with Persona 5 also. I know that there are people who advocate for different Persona games, but I think 5 is probably my favorite of them.
Maybe
Okay.
this.
yeah, I liked 5 more than 4, but also it might be one of those things where it was the first one that I played. Just like Final Fantasy, my first Final Fantasy game was 10, so
Yeah.
that's always going to be my favorite, I think, even though I like a lot of the other ones.
There are cases to be made, like different elements of the story or the cast being better or worse in different Persona games. But I think that 5 has the best balance of all of those things. Like I like the main cast in 4 better, but I like the side cast in 5 better. And I think 5 just has is more cinematic. I think it's even more stylish. I think it's just a little more approachable than 4 is today for like if someone's just starting it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's my 2 cents.
And you won Tycoon, looks
I
like.
did.
Yay.
Did you like Tycoon?
It was fine. I don't know if I will ever play it again, but I mean, maybe there's like other cool stuff I can do, or like things that I can earn.
Oh man, they're gonna like if they gate some sort of like cool item or persona behind.
Oh yeah, I'll be playing the hell out of it.
No way.
There you go. Well done.
Easy
Well done.
champion.
Yeah, I played on
Easy.
easy, and I was like, yeah, this is. I get it.
this is
Let's
good.
move on. There's like multiple rounds. I got 1 P coin, which I think is stuff, the currency you can use to buy stuff in here.
Would you like to play again? You have selected no.
Come on, there we go.
So
So
timely Simpsons joke there.
Very cool.
this is just some of the stuff you can unlock with those P coins.
What are these?
They're awards. I
Yeah,
don't
Joe,
know.
you idiot.
There's a gallery.
Does it seem like there was any benefit to doing those, though, Shay?
You mean unlocking those?
Yeah.
No. I think this is all just like Joe said, a
fun-
trophy room. So I
Okay.
just purchased a concept art.
Concept art.
Ah.
So yeah, you can buy stuff like that.
Okay.
Like I love concept art.
Do you really?
I do love concept art. I do
In the
not.
game?
I do not like concept art as a reward.
No.
And
no.
you-
Yeah.
Here's a worse version of what you're looking at now.
You can get like the cinematics unlocked as well.
But you have to buy them?
I mean, I don't know what the economy's like in this. Like, I have plenty of coins in this save file they gave me. So if that's an indication of how abundant they'll be, then it's not going to be a problem. But you can see, like, here's an example of the cutscene. This is where you meet An. We're not going to watch the whole thing.
So is this
don't
piquing
worry.
your interest, Alex?
I mean,
Or is this no?
So I am definitely trying to get into a little bit more Japanese-centric stuff. I'm watching Death Note right now. I'm playing Dragon Quest. So everyone has always talked a ton about this series, so it's definitely interesting. I'm not a huge relationship sim type of guy, so I think I would definitely go into it a little cautious, but also like the style is so gorgeous in this that it's very much intriguing.
Yeah, so you can see there's a music player, and then here's where you can kind of customize it yourself.
Okay.
It's called a palace maker, but it's really just I think this is supposed to be like your character's palace. So you can change like the decorations, you can change the theme. You'll see I can play around with this a little bit. So there's different themes and items you can choose from.
Is it going to be like share this with your friends, like everyone look at each other's palace?
I doubt it.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Okay.
So I changed it from the Phantom Thieves theme to the Mementos theme.
A
There's
classic
other-
choice.
Now, is this something
now-
you can access whenever you want?
I just hit start on the menu or triangle on the menu, and it brought up like Thieves' Den at the bottom of like the pause menu.
Okay.
Cool.
So you can like customize it with like enemies and set pieces and confidants. I don't have any of them unlocked, it would appear. But I realized you can buy stuff, so I went in to see what that's all about.
Okay.
So this is one of the all new areas in Persona 5 Royal, and just seems like it's just a bonus thing that you can do. And it also I added some vending machines to that platform, and then
Can you interact with them at all, or is it just a
it does
at vending machines?
it does unlock certain things. Like here, I was just buying stuff and placing it at this point, and then I'm gonna run over and go to the laundromat in a second here.
Like how excited he is looking in that.
Yeah, that's not how you look in a vending machine.
No, it is not. Well, it depends how hungry I am.
Oh, so it tells you what a vending machine is. That's cool.
Good. I was worried.
I am curious as to how all this sort of gets laid out as you play the game. Like Persona 5 is a game that is not short on systems
Yeah.
and features. So to have things like this things added to that, I'm excited about it, but at the same time,
So you can see in your
it's more things to instruct the player on how to use.
For
right?
sure.
yeah, and your social links will be hanging out there, like your fellow Phantom Thieves, and you can unlock other kinds of like dialogue with them.
Cool.
So yeah, I think that's about all
Yeah.
we have time
getting
for.
close to it.
Yeah.
So you didn't get to see the new character in action.
I did not, unfortunately, but you do. She is there from the very beginning because she transfers to the school around the same time as the protagonist.
Nice.
Cool.
But
so-
she's present, but she doesn't like join your party.
Exactly. I don't know when she joins the party. She was not in my party when I was doing the first palace in this gameplay demo.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah,
When is it coming out?
comes out March 31st on PlayStation 4.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Brian Shea and Joe Juba and Alex Stadnik.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Ha ha ha. What a fantastic episode of New Gameplay today. Come back every week for fun, informational looks at new releases and early previews of unreleased games. Ha ha ha. Stay subscribed and I guarantee there will be an episode about Cyberpunk 2077 at some point down the line.